hey, what is that? Is that some repurposed 308 magazine? Is that some old tuna can that he's made into a holster? No, it's the Vega Universal Holster. And we use them here at Sheepdog Response. Today we're going to be reviewing it. Hey everybody, welcome back to Sheepdog Response. Let me give it a little history. Sheepdog Response posts a video of shooting, me shooting in particular, and then the comments, they go crazy, right? About 50% of those are trolls asking about why I'm using a 308 mag as a holster. And the other half of the comments are like, what is that holster? What's the deal with that holster? I get a lot of questions about tactical equipment. So of course, we're used to those types of questions. I did respond on Instagram and said, hey, that thing that you see is a Vega Universal Holster because that's what we use during training. It's a great system and we're gonna talk a little bit about it. Vega's not a sponsor of ours. I first saw this holster year before last when we went to SHOT Show. If you don't know, every year we go to SHOT Show. Actually, every year we go to SHOT Show a week early and spend a whole week training. So get in on that training if you haven't had an opportunity. Come train with us in Las Vegas leading into SHOT Show. Then you can go to SHOT Show and then you go home and you don't have to tell anybody what happened because whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But while we're there, I'm in Vegas and I stop by the Vega booth and I see this little gem. This is part of their T.A.C.S system. That's T.A.C.S. That's the Tactical Adaptable Carrier System. That's a $10 mouthful right there. But the T.A.C.S system was designed for, tactical application, mostly for law enforcement and stuff. It's a series of pouches and magazine holders and holsters that are built, designed in this configuration. They're made of this really durable polymer, kind of held together by these bungee systems, all with a Blade Tech type. It's proprietary, but it reminds me of the Blade Tech style holder, a locking belt holder that's adjustable to most belt sizes. And I saw this little gem. That is a universal holster. And when I said, hey, what's the deal with this universal holster? Tried it out at the counter, came back, ordered a couple because we at the time were in the market to get some for the range because we have many different weapon systems. You can see we got a smorgasbord of weapons here. We have many different weapon systems that we use at the range for rentals, for training, for examples. And when you bring a bunch of weapons out, then you inadvertently, you got to bring out a bunch of different holsters. But this fixes that. And that's what I like most about the Vega holster is this universal adaptability. As an instructor on the range, it's fantastic because if I have to change guns or if I have to use another gun for an example or if I'm going to try somebody else's gun and try it for draw and use it for example, I know it's going to fit, right? There's two different models. There's a smaller one that's for compact. This is the full size model and it's very boxy looking. It doesn't look very dynamic, but in actuality, it's a fantastic holster. And so that's what we're going to talk about today is the Vega T.A.C.S system universal holster and kind of talk about what the options are and what you can do with this. And so that's why we're here. So let's start first and foremost. It is light. Like I said, it's made of a very durable polymer. So a lot of questions were about, does it last? Yeah, it's very durable. And the beauty of this thing is it is truly universal, meaning I've seen a lot of different universal holsters. You may have seen this one. Black Hawk brought this one to the shelf a few years back. It's what's known as the Omnivore. The Omnivore is great, but the Omnivore isn't technically universally a universal holster because it does require that you attach either a light or this small rail device, this Picatinny rail device, because that's actually what seats in this track inside the holster. So it's a wide body holster. It'll hold a lot of different frames, a lot of different pistol frames, but it doesn't do anything unless you're able to attach this Picatinny rail. And we were using those for a while. And then the problem is somebody shows up with at the range. Sometimes we have students that show up, they got the wrong holster for the pistol. And then I got to worry about attaching this. And then if he or she shows up with a pistol and it doesn't have a rail system on it, you're out of luck. The Omnivore won't work. The Omnivore is also, you have to purchase it in right and left-handed. So we have left ones on hand and right ones on hand. It is a good retention holster. It actually has 2 degrees of retention here. It'll hold the weapon. Plus it actually has a button for retention. You can see a paddle style adapter there. Not bad. And I have seen law enforcement and I have friends that run Omnivores or run them with lights. And with a light, it'll go right in there as long as you get the right light to fit in there. But it's still kind of a loose fit. and kind of a big contraption when it comes to wearing it to the range. But it is universal. You can use it. So as many of these clips you have, you can clip them on different pistols, and you could use them different pistols with that, but they all require that adapter. This one doesn't, and all I have to do with one screw, I can take the clip off this side, put it on this side, and I can switch it from left-handed to right-handed holster. So truly a universal holster in the sense that I can quickly adapt it to either side, and it will outfit most of these full-size pistols, right? One of the drawbacks is it's for semi-autos only. Like, you're not going to get a revolver in there. We tried, unless it's a very small revolver. We tried revolvers. It's made for semi-auto pistols. It's more of a modern setup. And so there's pros and cons. We'll go over some pros and cons, but I just kind of want to show it to you. And then I want to show you the newest thing that they brought to market, because this is just this year. Because after I came back, did my research, looked up the Vega holster, we ordered some, started using them, and now most of our instructors here use them on the range just because it's just so easy to switch guns and use them on the range. And I've done just about everything on this. I've really put it through its paces, and it takes a licking and keeps on ticking. But then I noticed that they came out with a concealed version, which I'm going to break out of the bag here, do an opening and show you. But that wasn't available in the U.S. until this year. Last year when I saw it, I called them up. Vega is an Italian company. They've been in the business a long time, since the 90s. I've known about them for a long time. Saw them at the counter, came back, said, hey, what do I got to do to get one of these? Because you can go on the Italian website and see this, but it wasn't available in the U.S. And so I called their rep. She said, hey, that thing will be available in the U.S. next year. And she was right, as guaranteed. Here it is. I ordered it. You got to go to VegaHolsterUSA.com. Don't just go on Vega Holster, or you're going to see a bunch of Italian writing and a bunch of Italian prices. Well, you want Vega Holster USA, the U.S. affiliate, and you can order this. The going rate on this thing, it's about $40 to $50. I think they run $49. Not bad for a universal holster. I'm going to tell you what it's good for. It's good for, like I said, if you're a trainer on the range and you know you're going to switch weapons, or if you're traveling and you want to pick one holster for multiple weapon systems, it's great for that. It is great for range training. It's great if you wanted to get it for somebody in the meantime until they got a holster that was specifically made for the weapon system, or if you have a specialty weapon system and you're waiting for a specialty holster, in the meantime, you can continue to train. It is great for those things. Is it a great everyday carry holster? Probably not. It's a little bit boxy. It's not the best, even though it technically is a retention holster, and I'll show you that in just a second. It's not the greatest retention holster, and I certainly wouldn't expect too many people to carry it as a duty holster. I would like it, though, as a chest rig holster. I think it would be a great chest rig holster just because of the flat nature of it. So if you had a chest rig built out, it'd be a good option for that. So maybe not a bad option for law enforcement officers or people who might have to switch guns throughout the day, like a weapons trainer, right? But as far as your everyday on the belt, would it work? Yeah, but it leaves a lot of your weapon exposed as well. It does secure the trigger guard, and that's good. So if you have a weapon that's the only safety is the trigger safety, then it's going to be protected, and it does well in that facet. But it lacks some of the things that a form-built holster will bring if you can find one for your particular weapon system. So I'll give you a couple doses. Here's a SIG, big P320. It fits in there nice and snug. It will be kind of snug. It is adjustable, and so it has this bungee system here, so I can loosen the bungee up, and so I can get a better fit. But it will hold it nice and tight, and like I don't have to work very hard. It will retain it. And you'll see one of the drawbacks is that the front of the pistol, if it's a full-size pistol, like this is a big cannon, the full-size pistol will protrude past the end here. So if you shoot this thing hot, or you're going to be rolling around in the dirt a lot, the front of your pistol is going to take a beating. So that's another one of the drawbacks from it. If it was just a little bit longer, it'd be better, but you'd probably give up some of the universality. But it does do a great job of protecting the trigger. It does do a great job of retaining it. It's still easy enough to draw, easy enough to holster. And so for those of you who saw it in the video, this is what I was wearing. Mine was a desert tan version, but I got a lot of questions, and now you know what it is. Works great with a light. The one thing I have noticed is when I switched to the staccato, when I was shooting the staccato the first time I put it in, because they had suppressor height sights and they got kind of gnarly sights on the front of them, when it first went into the system, went in great, when I went to draw it, the front sight would catch a little bit on the front. After it worked in a little bit, it was all right, but one of the things you'll notice is the front sight is nearly parallel, or it just hangs over just a little bit. And this has some give, it has a slope to it, but on mine, I kind of filed it out and made the slope a little bit better so the front sight wouldn't catch. This isn't mine. This is one of the ones I grabbed off the rental shelf in the back. But you can see it'll go in and out of that thing, and it does a great job of retaining it. Even a heavy pistol like a staccato, it'll retain it. This is a FN, so this is a mid-size pistol. Mid-size goes right in there. Universal fit, same retention for all of them. Works fantastic. Like I said, for range application, it's pretty good. If you look on the back, like I said, the locking system, it's a half turn or quarter turn to unlock the system in the back. It has a little lever, and so you unlock that, push these in, and it flips up and over. And then I can change this with screws to go to the different settings for the different widths of belt, or whether you're wearing just a regular duty belt or whether you're wearing a tactical belt. I can open it up and close it up depending on what type of belt. I can also change the angle. I can angle it any direction. So if you want to run small of the back on this one, if you want to run it in a different configuration, or if you want to mount it somewhere other than a belt, so you wanted to mount it in a car or somewhere else to have a holster system that was a fixed mounted holster system, it would work pretty good for that. I will tell you this, though, and I'm going to demonstrate this for you now. The retention system is basically the secondary bungee here. You have this clip, it loosens and tightens, and it would basically just go over the weapon system like that. And you can see, yeah, would that be a great fail-safe? Sure. Would it keep the weapon from coming out if you were running and doing climbing over walls and stuff? Yeah, absolutely. The problem is when you go to draw that thing, now you're stuck with a bungee there. And so you'd have to draw it, come out from under it to get under it. Could I get to the weapon system? Yeah. So I think one of the Achilles heels on this thing is the bungee retention system. Even though the weapon, like I said, I've done just about everything. I've done running, jumping, crawling around the dirt and stuff. Weapon stays nice and secure, but for extra added and kind of a low rent way to throw in a secondary retention system, they just threw in this bungee system on there. Most of the people that I've seen use them just take this thing and they'll wind that thing down and around the belt system and just kind of make it go away and just run them like this. And that's like your standard Kydex holster without any kind of secondary or tertiary kind of retention system. So a lot of law enforcement officers are not going to be able to run this because their departments expect them to have different levels of retention. This is just pressure fit, but it does do a great job of protecting the trigger, does do a great job of holding the weapon system in there. It is easy to locate. It's nice and sturdy on the belt, and it is made of solid materials and truly universal because I can switch it not only any weapon, but any semi-automatic weapon, but any side I want, right side, left side. You can see one of the belt that we rigged up. This is one of our rental rigs, and sure enough, there it is, left side that somebody was running. So I highly recommend it if you work on a range. And maybe if you're training, if you're just learning your draw and you want something universal, or if you have multiple pistols that you want to work with, not bad. I would give it 8 out of 10, right? As a trainer on a range, it's a solid 10 for me because we've gone through a lot of different universal systems trying to go, and frankly, it's the best we've used yet, all right? As far as instructors and having a universal system on the range, it's the best I've used yet. All right. This is the new gym. This is the one they just came out with, and I'll unpackage it for you here now. This is their version of a concealed one. Kind of boxy for concealed, but I really like their belt retention. So basically it goes over the pant, up under the belt, holds really, really well. Same setup basically as the original. A little thick, but it does have a protector in the back. Same bungee system. So they just added the flesh protector in the back. Nice because, it doesn't dig in the front, still protects the trigger well. A little bit boxy for concealed, but if you're a big guy like me, you can conceal easy. The nice thing about this is, again, as trainers out on the range, if somebody wants to practice, so they show up with a concealed holster and that concealed holster craps out, the screws come out of it, or a lot of times what happens, people show up and they got the wrong holster for their gun, and you're like, hey, that's not safe, you can't run that, I can see your trigger, no good. And so I just reach into the bag of tricks and I pull this thing out and say, hey, you can continue to shoot though, because I'll let you use this as a loaner. And so that's what we use the Vegas for, and they're fantastic for that. So for all the yous that wanted to know, now you know. That's what the Vega Universal Holster is. I did not make it out of an old 308 mag. I didn't make it in my garage. I ordered it from Vega. They showcased it at SHOT Show. And like I said, we're training at SHOT Show every year. You should try to make it out. The week leading into SHOT Show, we're training hard. It's open to everybody. Come see us at one of our courses. Come check it out. You get a chance to go into SHOT Show. Stop by the Vega counter and tell them you know your stuff. All right. They also have magazine carriers for 5.56 pistol, same configuration. So if you're looking for a great universal system, that T.A.C.S system, go to VegaUSA.com and you can get those things. And those are the pros and cons of the Vega Universal Holster. All right. Another great review, if I do say so myself, from Sheepdog Response. If you like this video and you want to see more of us, shoot down in the comments. If you think it's a turd, let us know. If you think it's fantastic and the best thing since sliced bread, let us know that. If you're a troll, keep hammering. We'll keep making videos, right? We'll give you plenty of ammunition, all right? Like and subscribe and check out more videos at sheepdogresponse.com. So we're not sponsored by Vega holsters at all. I've known about Vega for some time. They're not a sponsor, but Vega, if you want to be a sponsor, we do use your holsters and we're very fond of them. So give me a call.